speaker today is Starkville Mayor Lynn Spruill. She's serving her third term as mayor, and under her leadership, Starkville operates as a dynamic 21st century city and as a city that deals with problems before they become crises. And we are happy that she's here. Please give a Rotary welcome to Lynn Spruill.
Okay, that was my kind of introduction. Thank you. That was great. I appreciate that. So, all right, note the picture, guys. What's in the right-hand corner? That would be the Rotary float. I was proud to find that picture in my stash here. So, my favorite thing to talk about and the best place to live, work, play, and learn, and that's the Need More. That's the Need More mural that we have. So I'm highly fond of murals, as y'all can tell. But anyway, here we go. So, all right, here's the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the tax rate, get that out of the way. Sales tax, Main Street project, the 182 project, other pending projects, and then we'll do a little bit of what we've done, what the board has done in 2025, and then I've got wishes, and then we'll take questions, and I'm brokenhearted that Frank is not here because I had him up for the first question. I'm just going to tell you, he will be missed, and we'll see. I hope he's doing okay. All right, so the tax rate, we want to blame that on Steve Langston. Where is he? Is he there we are. All right, so at the November meeting of the partnership board, Steve brought this up, and I could have kissed him. I didn't, but I could have, because he said basically that you get a whole lot for your dollar, for your tax dollars here in the city of Starkville. So I took mine, you can see my check mark here, I took one of my fourplexes. So this is my tax card for my fourplex. I don't know how many of y'all actually get your tax cards. You may have them escrowed or whatever, but this is a fourplex. It's 164 Park Circle. And this shows the assessed value, the true value, and then it shows the tax. So for my 2025 tax rate, which I'll be paying before the end of December, my city tax is $874. Okay? And it increased. We did a 2 mil increase, right? We went from 32 to 34. We did a 2 mil increase, and that increase on that one piece of property was $51.41. Now, am I going to raise my rates, my rent rates because of that? No, I am not. Because you spread that over 12 months, and it's negligible. So I'm just saying. Okay, so what do I get for my $874 per year? I'm getting a professional fire department with a Class 3 rating, which is only one of 7 in the state of Mississippi. And let me also say that I recently had reason to use that fire department, and they had roughly a 3-minute response time, and they saved a life. Over on Logan Drive, I had an apartment fire at 110B, and that fire department was on top of it almost immediately, and because they were there so quickly, as a professional fire department, they saved the life of a man who was upstairs and was incapacitated. So I have a great debt for them, and they have roughly a 3-minute response time in this town. We have a nationally accredited police department. Y'all heard from the police chief not too long ago, and he gave you an overview of what all they do. We're really proud of them. Only one of 6 in Mississippi, and I might also say that Mississippi State has a CALEA accredited police department. So we got 2 right here. We get 315 miles of street maintenance. That's how many street miles we have in the city of Starkville. We include preservation and maintenance. You call us about a pothole, we come fix it. We have ongoing street improvement projects such as a TAP grant, which we have shared with the university, and we share with the county. And we have intersection timing improvements planned for Highway 12. So I have inadvertently misled people. I won't say I lied because I thought I was telling the truth. But once you hit over 25,000, the Highway 12 is ours to do. So we are now maintaining, and when I say that, it's still an MDOT highway. But we are required to do some of that maintenance associated with, not the overlays and that sort of thing, but the timing on the streets. So when people would complain about the Spring Street and the Highway 12, I would go, it's an MDOT thing. No, it's ours. So one of the things that we're looking at doing is taking some of our road improvement money and investing in timing in the cabinets that control those intersections. So it won't be quick, but we are looking at doing that. We still have to have MDOT's approval, so they may say you're going to take care of them, but they want to make sure that we're doing it to the standard that they appreciate. So Then we also have for that $874, it's 2021 building safety codes. We're also looking at updating them to the 2024. Should be doing that next year. For that you get fire, property, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, ADA, property maintenance. So you get a code that keeps our properties in good shape around the town and make sure that the things that are being built are safe. You get planning and zoning, you get code enforcement and animal control. Both those actually come under the police department, but they're kind of separate, so I wanted to highlight them. You get sidewalks, you get park support and management for 7 active and passive parks inside the city, and that's shared with the 2% funding. But that's still, a lot of that is supplemented with your ad valorem tax dollars. You get HR functions, you get city clerk and finance administration, and you get municipal elections. I misspelled that. It's municipal elections. My bad. I'm sorry. I should have done a little better checking my language. And that's not everything you get, but that is a good portion of what you get. So, all right, we got the first. No, this will be the first and only pop quiz. Have I met other former board members, not current board members, former board members, Board of Alderman members in the group? Nobody. Really? What's the matter with you guys? All right. So here's going to be my question. What city services are not up there? What city services are not up there? Come on, I'll do a brag bucket. Okay, why aren't they up there?
Because of revenue support.
Thank you. All right, so when I get, hang on. There you go. All right, so when I get the questions on Nextdoor and Facebook about my water is brown, I pay my taxes, it is all I can do not to send a message back that says, no, your taxes don't pay for this. Your water rates do, your sewer rates do, your electric rates do, your sanitation rates do. Those are an entirely different set of funds. Okay, so just for those of you who might not know that, because people do conflate them. So anyway, all right. For the 1,400, and I'm not throwing county under the bus, please don't misunderstand, because we need the county just like everything else, but for the $1,416.66 that I paid for that property tax, I'm getting courts, which I love never to use, although I do use the justice court, sheriff's department, the jail, chancery clerk, tax assessor, circuit clerk. I'm sure there are other things, and for those of you who live in the county, this is a city related only, but for those of you who live in the county, you're going to get a volunteer fire department, so you're going to get road maintenance from the county as well. But just to point that out, the jail, they're doing a little bit of double dipping because we also pay to house inmates. We contract with the county to house inmates. We reserve 12 beds a night, and then we pay them $25, I think it is, and if they stay over 30 days, it goes to 30-something dollars. But we pay them for that. So we're also paying for the jail through your ad valorem taxes with the police department, because that's part of the police department budget. And then shared collaboration. I think it's worth saying that the things that we do with the county are important. We look east a little bit and there seems to be conflict. And there's no conflict here with us. We share North Star Industrial Park, the Golden Triangle Regional Airport, the Golden Triangle Regional Landfill, the George M. Bryan Field. You can read, I don't have to read all those to you, but those are all things that we have shared with the county for ongoing projects. We shared with the MSU Horse Park when it first got started, and we're still giving those funds. The Heritage Museum, the Economic Development Authority, the library, and the Humane Society. All of that are things that we share with the county. And we've shared TAP grants with them, just like we share with Mississippi State. We've done TAP grants with Mississippi State, which are transportation improvement projects. We share with the MSU Horse Park with the state. We share the come on, man. The airport, the George M. Bryan Airport, I'm sorry. We all share in those things. And so it is a collective regional effort, and I think that's important to note. Okay, so moving along. Away from sales tax. Thank you again, Steve. Sales tax. So one of the things that I think is important for y'all to note, this is our year to go for 2% funding. I've already spoken to the senator about it. I've spoken to Representative Robertson about it. We have to go ask every 4 years for that renewal of that 2% funding. That 2% funding started back in 1994, and I'll show that in a minute. But this right here is our 7%. It does not include our 2%, but this is our 7%. So this is what we've gotten. And back the monthly average for the year back in 2017, $584,000. 2025, we're looking at 863,000. That's some of that growth that we get, and a lot of that is because we have people coming into town. Why do we want visitors? Because they share, and when they come in and they're a part of our community, and they buy from Walmart, and they buy gas, and they eat in our restaurants, they are extending our services. They allow us to do more with less, which is really quite wonderful, and so we love having visitors. But that's sales tax. So I jumped a little bit ahead because the 2% money was what I was really talking about, having to go forward and ask the legislature for again. So in our 2% money, we've got the chart is showing 2018, but I'll go back to the 1995 era on the next slide. But this is showing you the growth. So our monthly average in 2018 was 176,000. And now we're up to 272,000. So that gives you an idea of that growth, and that's the same thing. People come into our town, they eat in the restaurants, they are spending money and enjoying our community, and that's exactly what we want them to do. We have had constant growth, some of it a little bit higher than others. The only bad year we had was, everybody can guess, it's a COVID year. So and our sales tax did not drop into the negative in the COVID year, but our food and beverage did for obvious reasons because we had to shut down basically. So here's the one I really think is fascinating. So if y'all remember, back in 1994, they passed got approval from the legislature, passed a referendum, and we had the election, and so we started collecting. So our first full year, 1996, we had $558,000 divided 4 ways. Went on for 10 years. Then in 2004, we went to the legislature and said, we want to divide it 5 ways. So the division is now the Visitor and Convention Council, or CVB, gets 15%, Parks and Recs gets 40%, City gets 10%, OCD gets 15%, and MSU gets 20%. So from the time that started, you can follow the track over here, but look at the growth. 2005, it was $1 million. 2015, it was $1.8 million. 2025, it's $3,189,000. That's a lot of continued growth, and I see no end to it. It may fluctuate. You know, you have percents here and there. It may fluctuate, but it continues to go gradually up, and that's what when we budget conservatively for 2%, 2.5%, and we're grateful when we see things like a 4% growth. So this has been a good year. All right, let's go to Main Street. Let's go to Main Street. And for those of you who are frustrated with Main Street, get over it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So this is where we are right now, and as of 2 weeks ago. And this gentleman right here on the left, that's Chris Williams. And he has been an extraordinary part of this project in overseeing it. And Neil Schaefer, back in the back there, William, has been very helpful with us for all our projects. And we're delighted to have that collaboration. But Chris has been a wonderful, wonderful employee. And the engineering profession is, I just can't say enough good things about it. Between an engineer and a landscape architect, you've got pretty much any project covered in a good kind of way. So I just want to do a shout out to him because he's been great. All right, so this is before and this is now. What do you think? It's good, right? Okay, so here's the fun part. Ned, you're up. I love time-lapse. I love time-lapse photography. So this started out in May at Memorial Day because you had all the flags on in the roundabout there. We started on the north side, started a little slow, getting our feet underneath us, but the north side is phase 1, and we've installed silva cells for the trees so the trees can get big, because before they were stunted because they didn't have any growth opportunity. So we've installed silva cells, and then obviously landscaping, and there's extra electrical underneath there for growth so that we can do events. Then we moved to the south side, that's phase 2, and it went much quicker because people were getting they're getting the feel for it, and they threw some more people into the works. So south side phase 2, and that's getting there. I just love this. I can see this out my window, y'all. This is just cool stuff. I'm just telling you, this is really cool stuff. And we're narrowing, as you can see, we're widening the sidewalks, we're narrowing the streets down, and we're providing some parking for those who are doing deliveries on the side streets. So we have tried to help them understand that. Okay, so here we are now, and that's what we're pretty much looking at. And it'll stop here in a second. There it is, it stopped. So that's kind of where we are. So what you've got is you're going to have, in fact, they're supposed to do that this month. We're supposed to stand up the trees and the lights this month in the next couple of weeks. So you'll be seeing trees go up, and then you'll see some light standards, because what you're going to have is the festoon lighting that's going across Main Street. Okay? And the, no, we're not doing it again. Help, Ed. There we go. Nope. Went back one. There we are. Okay, so this is kind of the before and after. This is the only picture I had of Restaurant Tyler, and I actually took it when we had the Clydesdales. But you can see how busy this is, how much stuff is there. And there it is now. So you've got the brick pavers, and what I'm hoping, and according to Judge Kelly, they're looking at doing an outdoor dining area, which is one of the things that we expanded the sidewalks to include. So we will have some of that outdoor dining that I think is so desirable. And then, all right, so Julie Brown's office facing west. You've got the brick pavers and you've got the water sidewalks. Restaurant Tyler and the glider, which I love, facing east. So you can get a feel for that part of the south side there. Then you've got that again. Oh, no, people have asked me where the clock's going to go. That's the reason I did this. This is the clock. So the clock will be there. They've got the base there. The clock will be there, and I'm not quite sure when they're going to put that back in, but the clock is going to be there, so not to worry. All right, and this is the other side of the street. So this is Lafayette facing west. You've got the little bit of the landscaping that went in preparation for our Christmas evenings, and then you've got the courthouse facing east. So you've got the brick pavers again. I'm not sure. Maybe the courthouse will have like a restaurant. We'll have a courthouse coffee shop or something outside. But that gives you the stills of where we are now. And this is the eventuality for where all the mess is right now. So you will have, the brick pavers, and you will have outdoor, and you'll have some narrowed areas, and you'll still have a little bit of the roundabout there. If I could just keep the school buses from circling through there and then driving into the landscaping, it would be really helpful. But that is hopefully the future for the end of that you see under construction right now. We've got umbrellas, and you can see the lighting, so hopefully it'll be there soon. All right, the power of pressure washing. Guys, so in order to do the mural that is down that stairs, it'll come up in a minute, you had to pressure wash it. And it never occurred to me that wasn't like the color of concrete until you had it pressure washed. And then you look and go, well, shoot, we ought to be doing that in some other places. And so there are a couple other locations around town that I've queued up our sanitation department to do a little pressure washing, because it matters. And then there, we have our mural, our stair mural. And I saw somebody the other day had used that as a backdrop for posting on their Facebook page, renewing their Facebook page. So Deborah Mansfield, who has also done the mural at Caddy Corner on Julie Brown's wall, did this one as a storybook theme. And so the stairs are books, and hopefully it will be something that will be a fun opportunity and a learning tool. If you haven't been down there, it's kind of cool. It's Kane Overstreet's building right there. Tried to talk him into letting me do something there, but he was a little skittish about that, so we didn't. But maybe he'll come to the table on it one of these days. All right, Main Street components. We replaced the water lines and addressed the issues of sewer and stormwater infrastructure. There are going to be 35 oak trees that are going to have fall color and landscaping. That's what will start to go in, and they'll be able to grow and be really provide shade and just feel really good, I think. The lights that are internally lit with festoon lighting across Main Street. We've got planters, we'll have outdoor seating with shade, and 110 parking spaces on Main Street. We have lost 8 due to the project. People were telling me, no, you were going to have parking on Main Street. Well, what is the angle? What are the stripes for if they're not for parking? So we've got parking on Main Street. We lost 8 to the project, but we've added 53 on Lampkin and Montgomery, and we increased the number of ADA spaces. So we've got 4 much more accessible ADA spaces. 4 more much more accessible ADA spaces. And then we've got the big brick pavers. So just so y'all have a feel for some of the details. All right, we'll move to the Highway 182 project, Build and Raise grant. And it was an infrastructure project. It was not a beautification project. You don't spend $43 million on a beautification project. hopefully economic redevelopment, and then the stories I'm hearing now are that that's what's going to happen, because I've got a couple of realtors who are talking to me about, well, I've got so-and-so looking at this, and I've got so-and-so looking at that. We've got people that are looking off of Lafayette Jefferson Street to do some residential mixed-use development, so I think it's going to do what it was intended to do, which is to bring that corridor back to life. Completion in late 2027, and Main Street, by the way, completion is set for, they're saying fall, late summer, fall of 2026. I'm saying, let's say end of 26, just in case. I don't want to set any expectations that then get out there and aren't met. But completion for a 182 grant in late 2027. All right. Where are my old Starkville people? All right. Plantation Bell is now the Red Roof Inn, where Dave's Dark Horse were. My daddy used to have breakfast at the Plantation Bell Motel every morning. You got the Sunflower Grocery Store, which is now Rick's and Spiller. Coleman's Barbecue is now dry cleaners. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name of it. I still can't think of the name of it. But yeah, it's now the dry cleaners. Then you have Pick Pack, which is the pawn shop, and then you had the Derby. Fond memories of the Derby. You gotta remember that. So 182 or 82 before it was 182. All right. So this is today, or right about now. So we see all of these. We see all of these lines. The good news is, let's see, the ones on the south side of 182 are going underground. You're not going to have them anymore. The ones on the north side will give you a better picture. These on the north side are going to be not so numerous. They're going to be taller and further apart. So they will be hopefully hidden by a canopy of trees that will make them less intrusive. The ones on the south side, again, going away. They're going to go underground. The transmission lines is what's going to be up, still in the air, and the distribution lines are what's going to go underground. So you will not be seeing any cabling associated with communications. So Max South, AT&T, C-Spire was already underground. Those are going to go away, and they're going to be in channels underneath the street, which is quite challenging, which is part of why this was such a challenging project. All right, so I have another fun thing. I think I need you, Ned, because I forgot to mention to you. Okay, this is a drone flight, and it's kind of long, but it's cool. So the drone, yeah, there we go. So this is I think the Burns does this one. The fire department has a drone as well, but Burns Dirt did this one, and it's sort of it's pretty amazing. So some of those sewer lines are as deep as 16, 20 feet. And again, part of why this was such an expensive project is because it was intense, and they're still doing all of that. But this was taken, I think, week before last. So this is pretty current if you've been there.
How many lanes is that going to be total?
Give me two with median. And you can see where they are. You can see, we've got a lot of all the various sundry concrete pieces. Again, another reason why it's so expensive. And you can see the lines on the south side. We're about to get to D.L. Connor, and you can see you begin now to see where the improvements are. So you can see Ms. Moreland's service station there, which was a service station, and it is no longer. And then what was, I guess, Pick Pack, the pawn shop. And then as you go along, so you can see you've got the medians, and you're moving toward you'll be moving toward the motel, which was bought. And if anybody hadn't been to that motel, they have done the cutest thing. That is adorable. They have really made it very attractive in an unusual kind of way. But I think they stay full, particularly obviously during game days. But you can see that we've got the medians, you've got the lights in the center, you've got the wider sidewalks that allow for biking and ped. And then you've got the part where everybody's mad at me because it's approaching the school. But the amount of people that queue for that school, we could queue them back to Old West Point Road and they still wouldn't be happy because you wouldn't have the space needed. But as you can see as we move along, you've got Peters Rock on the left side there, then you've got School Street going there. And then as it goes along, you can see where I did have another one that was a time lapse on this, but it even put me to sleep, and I like this stuff, so I didn't put it in there. But you've got the improvement to the school entry there that is off of 182. You've got the left turn lane there, and those things will be striped. You've got again, sidewalks on both sides, and people use sidewalks. People. Sidewalks do not go nowhere in a city that is, what are we, 200 years old, and we're going to be another 200 years old. Eventually those sidewalks will connect. And I cannot tell you how many times now I've got people going, I want a sidewalk, I want a sidewalk. But I still hear the sidewalk to nowhere every now and then, which makes me crazy. I just acknowledge it, what can I tell you? All right, so you've got the Oddfellow Cemetery there. And as you move along, this went really well, and I think Alderman Vaughn lives right up here, just off of this, and he was very supportive of the project, and also very supportive of the success of the project and how they managed it, how they handled it for everybody. So there's his cul-de-sac right there, and then we'll move to the top of the hill, and that'll be it. Y'all are done watching it, but I just think this stuff is so cool. And to have the drones look at things that we never had a chance to look at before is pretty fun. And so, Ned, between you and me, when this thing stops, we'll move to the next slide rather than starting it over again, because even I'm not going to watch it twice in a row. But you can also see that the landscaping is in, and the lighting, because the lighting was poor before, and when those wires get reduced and the ones go underground, you're going to have a whole different feel to it. And I've got a couple of stills that I took actually this weekend, just to make sure I had a shot that y'all could see. So this is a long street, and this is pretty much where it ends. The intersections and the head crossings and all those things. So, all right, I'm going to see if I can do it myself, Ned. Nope, that looks like it's it again. You want to do it for me?
Yeah, that was
All
it.
right, thank you. So there are our stills. I took those this weekend. So this is facing east. So I'm at the top of Long Street. You can see the landscaping, and you can see how it looks just as a still. And that's how the rest of it will look as you go down, with a little bit of a difference based on obviously the fact that the street is different, and it narrows. It's wide and it narrows, and it's wide and it narrows. MDOT has had a huge amount of right-of-way in some locations and virtually none in others. And then again, I wanted to focus on that so y'all could see that those that are coming down. It's going to make a big difference when you see that line of sight gets clear. Okay. All right, so Highway 182 started as a bill grant, became a raise grant, and I thank our federal representatives, our national folks who helped us get that additional $20 million, Senator Hyde-Smith, Senator Wicker, Congressman Guest. They were all very instrumental in helping us make sure that we could finish this project. We got new water sewer and storm infrastructure. It'll be landscaping, tree lighting, or street lighting, excuse me, and trees. It'll be landscaped with trees. Upgraded traffic control devices and bike and ped lanes, and then the overhead will go, except for 35-foot poles and a wider span. So there you go, guys. And that should be done the end of 2027. Pending and ongoing projects. We've got a RETA agreement with the county for Candlewood Suites Hotel in front of Hollywood Cinema. We've got a tax income and financing plan, again with the county, for the Old City Lagoon over behind Walk-Ons with an entrance off of Pat Station Road, which is going to support infrastructure for an extended stay hotel and an additional student housing development. We've got the MSU Foundation Hotel Madelon, which I'm very proud that we're watching the foundation just take that on and make that something incredibly special. And where we can assist, we're doing our very best to help facilitate the progress on making that happen sooner than later, because we love those hotel rooms. We need those hotel rooms. We have got an overhaul and upgrade and expansion of the Ernest E. Jones wastewater treatment plant on Sand Road. It's a roughly $20 million bond project. Should be completed in 2027, and until we get that done, we are in a position that we will not be able to grow adequately. So that's the reason for updating that project and making it happen sooner than later. We had a number of areas that need to be improved, but we've coupled them together and doing things simultaneously that we had planned in sequence, because we need them in order to be able to expand our ability to take sewer to take sewer in from not just the city, but from the county. Not just the city as we grow, but the county as it's wanting to grow as well. We've got another project that's going to develop a well to be online in late 2026. Again, the same thing. We need water in order to be able to grow, so that's what we're doing. And we put that up faster than we had originally planned. Then we've got a mixed-use development at Jarnigan University, and they're working through the DRC to get there. George M. Bryan Runway and Taxway Extension. And I didn't put the terminal up there because it's still on the wish list. We need a grant, we need some additional funding, but Carrie is incredibly involved in that, and I think, end of next year for the runway extension?
It may run into the following year to avoid conflict with football.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully the football season will warrant. Absolutely. All right. So, and we've got something else that we haven't talked a lot about, and it's really exciting. We've got an $8 million grant, SS4A, safe. Come on, it stands for safe. Come on.
Safe Streets for All.
Thank you. Safe Streets for All. God, you think I'd remember that? But it's really going to be cool because it's a roundabout at Garrett and Pat Station Road for Highway 12 bypass over there. So it'd be really cool. It'll create a really dynamic entrance into both the city and the university because that's where people are coming in. So I'm really excited about that. We'll see what MDOT's going to let us do to make that special. I'm going to, a 6,000-pound bulldog sitting in the middle of that. Something cool. I think they may be afraid somebody's going to run into it, get drunk and run into it, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll try to do something special. Steel Drive, left off on the consonant. Steel Driver is 14,000 square foot medical facility that's looking to come in. Solo residential development, 84 1 and 2 bedroom units. Pickle Road, where my pickleball players, indoor pickle facility, which is going to be really cool. All right, yeah, thank you, Cindy. I knew you were. Starkville Retail Center, which is going right out here by the Waffle House, which is going up right now. And in fact, that's a really pretty good looking Waffle House if y'all aren't paying attention to that. We've got College View Phase 2, and then Playtopia, and I put that on there. Not that the city has anything to do with it other than making sure, they get a business license. But it is an indoor playground, and people have been clamoring for that on all of my Facebook next door. Why don't we have raising canes in an indoor playground? And then we've got 7 Brew, which is going to go in front of Miss Kelly's. I'm looking forward to it. You people drink coffee like crazy. I've never seen it like that. And then a brief thing on what the board has done. We had a little thing called an election. And so I am pleased to note that we have a number of returning ones. Moreland is with us today. She's a Rotary member. Kyle Skinner was elected from Ward 3, and William Pokup elected from Ward 5. And then you have Sandra Sistrunk, Mike Brooks, Roy Perkins, and Roy A. Perkins, and Henry Vaughn, Sr. And they all are, the one thing I can say about our board is there's not a one of them on there, that while we may disagree about some things, not a one of them on there doesn't have the absolute best interest of the community at heart. And I think that's one of the reasons that we do as well as we do is because we work together. And we believe whatever it is we disagreed about, we leave it at the table that night and we move on. And so I'm so proud of our board. We have authorized $25 million in bonds for water and wastewater, $15 million in bonds for street improvements and citywide projects. Our 25 budget that my $51.41 on that building went up for is pay raises for police and fire and engineering staff, minimum wage increase. We added 20 additional security cameras around the city, which we will continue to have to not just add, but we're going to have to keep them updated because they too have a life. They have a shelf life. Not unlike our police vehicles, which have generally a 5-year life max. And then we're going to be spending about $3 million on street improvements and street preservation. We approved the cleanup of numerous properties through lot mowings and tearing down and burning dilapidated structures. And I'd encourage any of you that if you see a dilapidated structure that you're not sure that we may be doing something about, please don't hesitate to send it to me and let me know so we can go through the process of doing what needs to be done. We just approved a predatory towing ordinance, which took 30 days to come into effect, so it won't be into effect until the middle of this month. But that was one of the things that we used to hear about a good bit about. And then we approved the resolution for the extension of the 2% food and beverage. And that is, I have to collect a little package, submit it to the guys. I see you moving. You ready to come up? Okay. So wishes. Upgrading the library to a high-profile Midtown Community Center and library, parking garage behind Starkville Cafe, additional residential downtown, incentivize underused properties. That will be really, that's going to make people really happy with me. But I would like us to consider how we might encourage them to use their property. Police and fire training facilities and getting the jail out of downtown. Again, not one of those things that I have control over, but I can certainly continue to lobby for it. So my thing is questions, and then anybody got any wishes they'd like me to add to my list of wishes? Yes, sir.
What
Is
is
it a wish or a question?
It's a question.
Okay.
What is a predatory towing ordinance?
Towing ordinance? Basically, the apartment complexes around town would contract with a towing company, and that towing company would cruise those parking lots, and if they saw someone without a tag or a sticker, or if it was parked maybe over the line, they would immediately hook them up and take them away. And so what we did is we require now that individual, if they're going to tow them, that individual authorization has got to come from the property manager, as opposed to just having the towing company going, oh, I think I'll take that one. And I'm not saying that they did, but they were authorized to buy the contract with the apartment complex. So we made it a little more difficult, and they've got to keep good records. So, okay. Yes, sir.
Lynn, early in your remarks, you talked about the timing of lights on Highway 12.
Yes.
Would that be synchronized lights? Is that what
Yes,
you're
I
talking
mean, the sensors will be
about?
improved.
Right. Well,
So, yes.
While you're looking at those boxes, we've got a lot of intersections in town where we give a left turn arrow and there's no car sitting there to turn left.
Well, that would be part of that timing. That'd be part of that timing.
Not on
And- but-
12, not on 12.
Oh, well, that's a whole different animal, because that would require additional, you either got in-ground that's not working, but you've also got sensors that are just straight on straight timers, because it's incredibly expensive to do that. So some of those side streets don't necessarily have that. So patience is a lovely thing. Yes, sir.
You mentioned in your list 20 additional street cameras.
So,
What's the total that's out now?
I think we have 65 or so. And again, a lot of those, some of those are replacements because they're reaching the end of life. I've got one that's over there off of Lynn Lane that's reaching the end of life. We've got one by City Hall that's reaching the end of life. So you've just got to prepare to replace them. So. I'm popular, I get questions here. Yes, sir.
Commend y'all for finally grabbing the bulldog horns on the underground utilities, water and sewage, that have most cities reaching into this life cycle. We put 25 million again into it. At what point, what year do y'all project that you'll be back to where you got a normal life cycle?
That would be some other mayor's concern. It's going to be a long time, because we've got that many lines in the ground. But we're doing our best to make sure that whatever goes in now will have a 60, 75-year life, because we've got inspectors who's watching them come in. So, yeah. Sorry about that. No, that's
A donation will be made in your honor to Mississippi State's Bullies Pantry. So next week, we will have, speakers will be Braver Angels, which is a cross partisan dialogue. It'll be Buddy Stubbs, Sarah O'Brien, Virginia Tolliver, and Richard Babb. So that will certainly be interesting. They want to have a little bit of extra time, so I think we're going to start at 12 o'clock instead of 12:05. And try to move quickly so we can give them the time to really get into things.
I didn't think you could ask for that.
You may or need more time today as well. So, anything else for today? If not, let's rise and say our motto.